For my entire life, my best friend has been Katie. It's honestly pretty amazing that Katie is my best friend since she's filthy stinking rich. The big equalizer between me and my rich best friend is that money can't buy brains, and Katie is a bit of a bird brain. I'm not a genius or anything, but I manage straight A's if I study enough. Then one day, something strange happened. Out of the blue, Katie got really good at singing. Like, look out Beyonce level good. And then Katie did so well on her exams, teacher thought she must have cheated. They actually made her retake the test, but the result was the same. She nailed every question 100%, even with the teachers staring at her the entire time. And finally, Katie became the top swimmer in school. Also overnight, it was all very suspicious because Katie never really excelled at anything. I knew something was up, and so I had to ask her about it. So, Katie, when were you gonna tell me that you've taken up swimming?
Oh, that? I'm just naturally talented, I guess.
Naturally talented? I don't think it works that way. I watched in fascination as Katie pulled a can of sardines out of her lunch bag. She cracked the can open, grabbed one of the fish by the tail, and proceeded to drop the entire thing in her mouth. Then she sat there chewing it, bones and all. Katie, since when do you eat that? You hate fish. Something's fishy about all of this, and no, I'm not talking about the sardines. Did your parents buy you some sort of experimental stem cell treatment to turn you into a superhuman or something?
You read too many comic books. If you're really that curious, stay over my house tonight. I'll explain then.
Katie's mansion backed into an undeveloped piece of property that was covered in trees. It was a favorite of hunters and hikers.
Okay, it all started here. I found a bird in this trap. I felt sorry for it, so I let it loose. When I freed the bird, this man appeared. He told me that he's the guardian of the birds here, and as a thank you for saving the bird, he graced me with 3 talents from his kingdom.
Katie pulled up her sleeve, and I gasped. 3 banded tattoos encircled her arm.
If I want to activate a talent, I just tap the tattoo and wish for it to activate.
I realized that one was a pigeon, and those birds have incredible memories. Another was a songbird, which explained the whole Beyonce thing. And the final weird little bird was totally a penguin. No wonder Katie was a crazy good swimmer and crazy about fish. A crack, snap, and squawking interrupted any further explanation. I hurried toward the sound and found an owl caught in a nearby trap. I walked over and threw the door of the trap open angrily. Katie, can't your parents buy this land or something? These traps are inhumane. Suddenly, there was a whooshing sound behind me.
It's the guardian!
Eye for an eye, a feather for a feather. In thanks, I grace you with 3 talents from our kingdom. Do you accept our gratitude? Yes, I accept your gratitude. With another rush of wind, the bird guardian was gone. My arm tingled and I pulled up my sleeve to see 3 tattoos on my arm, just like Katie's. But mine looked much simpler. Why are mine different?
You have to choose the birds you want talents from. Once you know what you want, tap the tattoo and make a wish.
Katie assumed I'd choose a bird to help me make money, but I long for something money can't buy. Martin. I'd had a crush on Martin since elementary school, and even Katie didn't know it. No matter what I did, Martin didn't notice me. I joined the astronomy club to get some quality time with Martin. But every time our club met up to stargaze, I fell fast asleep. But now, I didn't need to do any research to know which bird would help me here. I tapped the first of the 3 tattoos and made my wish. I wish for the talents of an owl. Sure enough, the tattoo's pattern shifted, and I was graced with an owl. That night, I stared at the stars and didn't feel sleepy at all. It was like I drank a triple shot coffee, and the stars were so beautiful to my new owl eyes. These bird talents were the best thing ever. But the next morning, I couldn't stay awake for class. The bird talent just moved my sleeping problem from the evening to the morning. I got a big flaming F on the exam. Later that afternoon, I decided to try another bird on for size. Martin's absolute favorite sport was baseball. If I became a baseball master, he'd have to notice me. The falcon made me so fast, I almost felt sorry for the other team. They had no chance against me. But then, I suddenly had crazy strong appetite for field mice. That stinking mouse looked so delicious I couldn't stop myself. As soon as I saw it scurrying through the grass, I ran over and caught it. It took all my self-restraint to put the mouse down, but by then, we'd lost the game. The entire team refused to speak to me after that, and Martin walked away from the field, shaking his head. I was meeting up with Katie for a study session when I heard the tail end of her conversation.
I love Italian. That sounds perfect. See you tonight, Martin.
Wait, you're meeting up with Martin tonight?
Yes, actually. We're going out on a date.
A date with Martin?
Yeah, I've had a crush on him forever.
I see. I hope it's a great night, Katie. I found a bird with the exact talent I needed. The cuckoo bird gets by in life by passing itself off as other birds. It wasn't fair, and it wasn't right, but I wanted to be Katie tonight, so I asked for the talents of a cuckoo and hoped for the best. My plan was to wait outside and intercept Martin before he got to the house, but Katie's parents caught me waiting out there and ushered me inside. They both hugged me, which was weird, and then they called me Katie. Actually, I'm Roxanne. Nonsense, sweetie. I know my daughter when I see her.
Welcome home, sister.
Sister? This is the creepiest freaking talent ever. Even worse than the stinking mouse. Katie, that boy is here to pick you up. Don't stay out later than 11. Hey there, Katie. Ready? I was grateful that Martin saw me as Katie. We went to the Italian restaurant, and he ordered me pumpkin rotini without asking me whether I wanted that or not. Then he started talking about me. I don't understand why a nice girl like you hangs out with an urchin like Roxanne. Urchin? Roxanne is not an urchin. She's a delinquent. At best, she'll probably grow up to be a cashier at a mini mart or something. Or maybe a janitor. What makes you say that? She's a complete idiot. Did you see her screwing around in the outfield? She's a clown. I don't think she was trying to ruin anything. I never liked her. The only reason I tolerate her existence is because she's your friend. Martin proceeded to recount every stupid thing he'd seen me say or do, and I realized that Martin had noticed me all along, and he hated me. I excused myself and stepped outside to cry.
Hey, sister.
Katie, why are you here? Katie pulled up my sleeve and dabbed some foundation on my tattoos. As soon as they were covered, Katie shook her head and blinked.
Roxanne, you picked the cuckoo to take my place on a date with Martin? That's so mean!
I got what I deserved for it. I had no idea Martin hated me so much.
Martin hates you?
I gave Katie a brief recap of the many things Martin said, and her eyes got narrower and narrower.
Come on, Roxanne. Let's not keep Martin waiting. Hello again, Martin.
Katie, you look different. And why is Roxanne with you?
Martin, I have news for you. You're a total jerk. If you were the last guy on Earth, I wouldn't have anything to do with you.
Katie and I got our tattoos removed the next day. Katie asked her parents to buy the land behind their property. Once the property was in her family's name, Katie and I went to work removing all of the animal traps left behind by the hunters. Then, when we graduated, we turned the land into a wild bird preserve. Overall, I'm grateful for the blessing of the birds. It changed my life, just in ways I didn't expect.